Hello, 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 and welcome to another exciting episode of PTC Live. We're live at Piedmont Technical College, and we're hoping everyone is doing well. We have some exciting guests that are members of our college family and faculty, and they're going to be talking about two very unique programs that we have on our campus. We have Ms. Tamika Weidman, who is our Director of Dual Enrollment. Tamika, how are you today?
Steve, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. And we got my wild man friend, Steve McDade, who is in charge of our continuing ed healthcare division. And Steve and I are going to be talking today about emergency medical technician and the healthcare quick start program. Stevie, how are you?
Good morning. How y'all doing? Glad to be here and be part of it.
It's great to have you both. And we're looking forward to this conversation. I have been, so that I can talk with two good friends about programs and services that are that are being offered. We're going to start with you, Tamika.
Okay.
And why don't you give us a general dual enrollment overview?
Absolutely. Well, dual enrollment is a fabulous opportunity for students who are in high school to enroll and take college credit classes while still enrolled in high school. We have the option here at Piedmont Tech. We're able to serve students kind of regardless of what their ultimate goal is after high school. They have the opportunity to take classes that will transfer to a 2-year or 4-year institution if they decide that they do want to get a credential after high school. Or we have the option for students who want to go directly to work. But they know they may also need a credential that will give them a leg up in the career world, if you will. So those are kind of the two paths we have for dual enrollment. But again, dual enrollment just in general is the opportunity for any student to take college level courses while still enrolled in high school. That's primarily open to juniors and seniors in high school, but we do have sometimes 10th graders, motivated 10th graders that are eligible to take the courses as long as they have permission from their high school.
You know, dual enrollment is a program that is continuously growing, and it crosses or intersects almost every county that we serve: Greenwood, Lawrence, Edgefield, Abbeville, McCormick, Newberry, and Saluda. What kind of numbers are we talking about, Tamika, in terms of students?
You are absolutely right. At Piedmont Tech, we have the privilege of serving 7 counties here, and we actually have dual enrollment students in every one of those counties. We actually have about 34 different schools that we serve, and that's a combination of schools, career centers, high schools, career centers, and other district partners, also homeschool students. Our enrollment for spring has been awesome. It's been great. We're just sitting just over 800 students that we're serving here for dual enrollment, which is a pretty sizable population.
That is excellent. The application process for dual enrollment, it's pretty user-friendly. Talk about that process a little bit.
Absolutely. So we try to make it really easy for students to take this opportunity. We do recommend that the first step a student takes is they have a conversation with their high school counselor. That's kind of the first step where they decide if dual enrollment is going to be a good option for you, if their high school schedule will allow them to take those courses. Sometimes students have the benefit of taking dual enrollment courses that will satisfy both college requirements and high school requirements. But again, your school counselor is going to be the first person that you want to talk to. And then after you guys make the decision to enroll in dual enrollment courses, we have a very simple online free application that you complete. And then after we verify getting your birth certificate, getting a high school registration form, which lets us know the courses you're interested in taking, and then you may or may not need to take our placement test, then we get you registered for courses. So it is a very simple process, and we help you at every step along the way.
Now, the question that a lot of people get, and people like myself, when I'm out representing the college and other areas in the communities, we're talking about dual enrollment cost. With anything else, when we start talking about college level courses, and you have to often understand that people need to understand these are college credit courses, and there's some tuition involved. Could you talk about the cost associated with dual enrollment so that our individuals will know how cost effective it is to be a part of our dual enrollment program?
Absolutely. There is unfortunately a cost for everything. And while we would love to be able to offer these to almost anyone, there's a real cost. However, because Piedmont Tech does have the option to make college affordable for any student that wants to come to us, we do have the privilege of being able to offer dual enrollment courses tuition free for students who actually attend and enroll in at least usually two courses, at least 6 credit hours. If you're taking at least 2 courses, which is about average for our students, then you attend tuition free. We also have the benefit through some state aid and financial aid that some students actually also receive a book voucher. So you also have an opportunity to get some aid, not just for taking care of your tuition, but also for helping you with some book costs. So yeah, we have made it very affordable. Again, some very generous state funding and some nice and generous accounting by Piedmont Tech. We have the opportunity for students to come at little to no cost.
Wow, that's great. Is there anything else? Am I missing anything? Anything that I should share? I'm kind of looking at my notes. What about the career pathways?
Sure, yeah, and that's probably what we're going to dive into and talk more about today. As I mentioned before, there are kind of 2 or more paths for dual enrollment. That's the traditional college level track where students know that they want to go on to a 2 or 4 year institution to earn an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. But we do have what we call career pathways, and these are for our students who know that they want to go to work in an industry and a workforce pretty soon after high school. We have the opportunity for students who know that that is their path. They can actually earn a credential while they're in high school that they can immediately use after high school graduation to give them a leg up in the career world. And that is a huge advantage that Piedmont Tech can give our students. So when you think of career pathways, think of programs in our technical fields like healthcare. We're going to talk about emergency medical technician. That is one of those. We also have some manufacturing and engineering certifications that, again, a student can immediately put to work and use those to get a job immediately after high school graduation. So that's what we mean when we talk about career pathways. We're going to focus more on healthcare in this session, but we do have an opportunity for credentials in healthcare, as I mentioned, in manufacturing and industry, and also some of our computer technology programs as well.
That is excellent. I'd just like to add, a real world point of view about this, because I'm a 2-time dual enrollment dad. And I just like people to know that my oldest son, when he walked out of Greenwood High School, walked into Charleston Southern University with 36 hours of college credit, every one of which was accepted, and he needed a cushion. But he focused a lot of his courses on education, and those courses really helped him in his process. He was prepared for the academic rigor of Charleston Southern as an incoming freshman, actually as an incoming sophomore, and he focused on education, and he's teaching at Woodfields Elementary, and he's one of our Piedmont Technical College dual enrollment students. My youngest son actually completed all but 6 hours for his degree, for his associate's degree as a dual enrollment student from Greenwood High School. Unfortunately, he chose to attend the United States Military Academy at one point, and they don't take anybody's grades.
Steve, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Go ahead.
You shared that, and I'll share a little bit about my own background here. I actually took dual enrollment classes. I think it was at the very beginning, probably when we were beginning the program, and I was a junior and senior at Greenwood High. And I had the same benefit that your sons took. And the benefit to me in taking dual enrollment, I knew I wanted to go to a 4-year institution. I took those courses, and very similarly to your sons, I was able to double major and still graduate in 4 years, which sometimes graduating with 1 degree in 4 years can be a task. But that is, again, you spoke to it beautifully, the advantage of dual enrollment. It gives you a leg up. It also helps you prepare for college. How many of us took our first semester and had our world rocked a little bit because college classes are a little bit different than high school? Exactly. It's very different than high school. And, you know, we offer, as you said, world-class academic excellence here at Piedmont Tech. And it really prepares you to go to any 2-year or 4-year institution after high school. What a great opportunity to go ahead and get that first semester, that first semester jitters under your belt by taking the classes here, where we're gonna assist you and give you academic support if you need it. We're also going to be just a good resource for you. You kind of think of dual enrollment as your freshman academy, if you will, while you're in high school. You also have the benefit of your high school counselor also providing assistance. So yeah, it can definitely give you a leg up. And again, going back to career pathways, my husband went to work immediately after high school. He eventually came back to Piedmont Tech to earn an associate's degree, or actually 2 associate's degrees. But had he earned a credential there in high school, he could have been that much farther ahead when he went to work in industry directly from high school. So regardless of, again, what your path is, dual enrollment may be a good option for you.
Wow, that's incredible. And we really appreciate all the work that you've done to grow the program. And we're looking forward to, I'm sure as you are, continued growth in our dual enrollment program. With that being said, we're going to transition a bit. And Steve, we're going to talk to our guy, Steve McDade. And Steve, I think we just got dated a little bit because Tamika was just telling us how she was just in college taking dual enrollment not too long ago. And I don't even think dual enrollment was around when you and I were high school seniors or juniors. But
You so either, Steve.
well, Steve, how are you today? For those of you who are on with us today, this is my man, Steve McDade, who is our continuing education health and healthcare division representative. And Steve's going to talk to us today about emergency medical technician and healthcare quick start program. Steve, how are you?
I'm doing well, Steve. Thank you for having me on today.
It's great to have you, man. So tell us about what you got going on down there in continuing education and some of the programs that you're putting forth and people are having an opportunity to partake in.
So we've been blessed. And if you don't mind, Steve, kind of let me kind of back up a little bit just to kind of figure out how we got to where we are.
Sure.
Back in 2018, the State EMS Association sanctioned a workforce study, if y'all would. And what this demonstrated, we thought that they were, that we were hemorrhaging openings, if you would, throughout the industry, not just in our 7-county region, but throughout the state of South Carolina. And in fact, it did show that we have tremendous workforce needs. Through that, we've been able to ascertain certain levels of funding to where now if a student, whether it be a dual enrollment student or a traditional student, they're as long as they meet the qualifications, their classes are all pretty well covered. And we've had that for about a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk more about that, but yeah, and not only is the tuition covered, but we're also able to cover the cost of the books because, for example, our books are relatively expensive. They're around $700 for the package. And so sometimes even if tuition's paid, that can create a hurdle. And so our mission was to try to figure out how can we overcome those hurdles so that we can allow these students to come in to help fill these workforce needs. We've been very lucky. Last year, we saw our dual enrollment actually climb tremendously. And the great thing about having the dual enrollment students come in is in the years past, the way that the National Registry of EMTs done their testing in the years past, that EMT student, that high school EMT student would have to wait until they turned 18 and had their degree in hand or diploma in hand before they could test. We've since that's been changed. That changed this last year, and we saw a tremendous upswing in students that passed the first time around. So now they don't have to wait 6 months, if you would, to test. They can test right away and go ahead, get that credential, and then once they turn 18, that automatically turns into their EMT license. So they come out of high school with an actual trade.
Wow. That gives you a real head start to be 18 years old with an actual marketable employment skill. So tell us about preparation for dual enrollment. Are there any prereqs? things that students might need to have prior to? I know if we're doing these programs with some of those students are younger students in high school, what do they need as a background to prepare them for your program?
As far as our program, a strong mathematic background definitely helps. It's not an necessity because we do start getting into some medication administrations and that kind of thing. So you have to be pretty sharp on your math skills. Reading obviously is important because you're going to have to read patient records and those kind of things to be able to make determinations from histories and illnesses and that's the like. We are a direct admit program, so while they will take the advanced, they will take the admissions test, so to speak. It's a direct admit program. However, if their scores are relatively low, we work with them and we can provide them with extra help to make sure that they succeed. We're more focused here at Piedmont Tech on making sure folks succeed than not succeed, not get them in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, here's the question. We all know about the prevalence of healthcare and healthcare professions in our communities. Tell us a little bit about job availability, income potential, and things of that nature with your EMT and other health. Well, let's focus on EMT, but then we'll talk a little bit about healthcare quick start as well.
Okay. Right now, there's a lot of job opportunities, as I stated about the workforce study and how that demonstrated the need. Within our 7 counties, I recently had to do another, just to see where we were at within our 7 counties. There's an agency in our area that has full staff. The least one in our area, and I'm not going to, obviously throw out their names,
Sure.
but the least one has 3 openings. And then one of our bigger services in our area has at least 17 openings.
Wow.
So jobs can be had relatively quickly. And now it's expanding, if you would. For example, many hospitals have began hiring EMS professionals to administer the vaccinations, to do the testing, that kind of thing. So EMS is filling in there. Historically, one of the things that's kept students away from this field is the idea that you have to work a 24/48 schedule. What that means is I work 24 on, and then I'm off for 2 days, and then I come back 24. So if you look at that, historically, you're like, oh, I don't ever get a full weekend off. But it all works out in our growth as an industry. Now we have the standard 24/48 shifts that we used to have. They're still present, but now we have other services in our area. For example, Edgefield, they're operating with a 24/72 schedule. So that means they work 24 hours, they're off 72 hours. So that adds a little more flexibility. Other services, for example, Greenwood County EMS, they're operating on 2 different schedules. They have a 12-hour schedule to accommodate those that don't want to work 24s. And then they have the traditional 24-hour schedule. Other systems like Lawrence, they're much like Greenwood. They're moving over to a 12-hour service, but they also have 24-hour availability. So what I'm getting to in all of our areas, depending on you work for a fast service, a smaller service, whichever, they all have schedules to meet your needs. The great thing also is that anytime there's a need in the workforce, that helps to pick up the pay scale, so to speak. And we've had that happen too. For example, it's going to take a student one semester, 15 weeks, to be able to test out for their EMT. Following that, once they obtain their national registry certification, they can get a job tomorrow. And after 1 semester of school, then they would come out at about $30,000 on the average for their base level salary. And so that's not including any scheduled overtime or those kind of things. So it's a wide open market right now. And you mentioned giving students access to other paths and those kind of things. So for us, if we know that the student is EMS is one thing they want, we could also map them out through their paramedic side as well. And just to give you an idea, it'll take you a semester to get an EMT, 3 semesters once you have your EMT to establish your paramedic. that is 4 semesters of school. And when they come out after those 4 semesters, they'll average on salary around 50,000.
That is an incredible opportunity. It's what a tremendous option that you're offering there. Is there anything else I need to know about that? Because you have just exhausted my question list.
I'm sorry. One of the things we are also working, so we get the student that they want to go in healthcare. They're not sure exactly where they want to go. EMT is a perfect starting spot because everything you learn in there is going to set your foundation for your healthcare career. So even if I wanted to go in nursing, respiratory therapy, OTA, whatever the case may be, everything that they learn in there will transition over and help them in that career path. And also we're looking at doing a bridge program from our paramedic to to nursing. So that may help alleviate some of that too. So basically everybody forges their own paths, and whatever we can do to help them meet their goals, that's what we're here for. So, Steve, please have them contact me if they have any questions. I love to speak with potential students because this is a career that, there's many things that students can do and make a ton of money and all that kind of stuff, go to 4-year colleges and everything else. This is a career that's more of a calling. I've been a paramedic now for about 24 years. So that dates if you add in my naval time, that definitely dates me.
Yeah.
But it is an awesome career. It's so different than most. The fact that every day you do something different. Each call is different. It may be a mother with COPD today that we deal with, and somebody that's had a terrible car accident with a head injury tomorrow. So no 2 calls are the same. But the one thing that is the same about the profession, whether it's paramedicine, EMT, nursing, healthcare in general, you have the opportunity to make a difference every day. You touch somebody's life every day. And while pay and all that's great and it's getting better, that is something that can't be overstated. What I told my kids everybody's talking about the kids. When I told my kids when they went off to college and all, find something you love. And if you love what you do, you're never going to work a day. And I've never worked a day in my life.
That's excellent. Now, one other question. 2 other questions, actually. Number one, I want you to talk a little bit about contact tracing and how that's a part of your program. And also we want to talk about which school districts currently offer the EMT program.
So as far as school districts that are offering the EMT program, right now we have Newberry. We have a class going on over there that just started this semester that has
my hometown.
There you go. They have dual enrollment students involved with it. This is the first semester we've been able to do it at Newberry, so we're kind of excited about that. We're moving forward in the future for offerings in the Saluda area. We're outfitting a lab over there, so that will be next semester. We're working closely with them, the fall semester, I apologize. That working closely with them. And obviously the Greenwood schools, they have been instrumental with sending students over here.
Sure.
If I think about last spring class, because remember when we talk about EMTs, they need to be the second semester seniors. One of the things. So when we go back to last semester, our last spring semester, the majority of their class was actually made up of high school students. And they did just as well as any other student in that class. If not, they did probably better because they didn't have bad habits that they had established over the years. Like when I was in school, it was rough.
I'll also add that we also have a number of Hype Abbeville students that also are a part of the program. They do travel to Greenwood, but in the future, we'd love to expand the program to serve other folks in our other counties. But yes, Greenwood, Newberry, and Abbeville all have dual enrollment students currently enrolled for the spring semester in the EMT program.
Oh, great. Thank you for sharing that, Tamika. It just shows how, our programs are growing. And, I'm so proud of the footprint that Piedmont Technical College has in the Lakelands. I mean, I tell people all the time that we are the dominant educational institution in our service district, and I stand by it 100% because we're changing lives, and we have a fantastically committed staff in all areas that are interested in primarily helping people to become who and what they want to become. I had one more question, Steve. There's a note that I have about contact tracing.
Yes, sir.
So Amelia's gonna not let me off the hook on that one. So I'm gonna need you to tell me about contact tracing and your program. And then talk a little bit more about Healthcare Quick Start.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Steve. And yeah, we have a brand new course that we're offering. It's labeled Contact Tracing. It's the first of its kind for South Carolina. We've worked very closely with the Department of Health and Environmental Control, DHEC, in developing the course. It's a 4-week program. It's a 4-week program, and it's all online. As far as topics, there's 4 modules involved. The first topic, obviously, we have to deal with confidentiality and that type of thing. So as it relates to coronavirus 2019 or COVID-19, as most people call it, we get in at first talking about the HIPAA training, the Insurance Portability Act. Obviously, we need to discuss that. We'll also talk about emerging respiratory viruses, obviously including COVID-19, but it's not just limited to COVID-19. If we go back and we think about other areas, the West Nile virus, H1N1, those things that have been around forever. So contact tracing is important to be able to identify, where this person is, kind of like putting the spokes of the wheel together. This person got infected. They came in contact with this person. This person came in contact with this person. So it helps you to real quickly see, how things, come about and how these things can spread. And then in module 2, we get into actual investigations, contact investigation training. So we'll, again, focusing on the new one that's here right now. So we'll discuss the background of COVID-19, case investigation tools, interview skills. Obviously, we're going to talk, you're going to have personal skills to be able to talk to folks and that type of thing. And other resources that they have. We'll talk about public health, basic context, and then we'll actually get into some legal ramifications and real-time legal response. We'll talk about the Health Powers Act, those kind of things, and how that plays a role in the world we live in today. Then we'll get into module 3 and 4. Module 3, it's important. We're going to be dealing with different types of people and different backgrounds and everything else. So we get into some cultural sensitivity and diversity. And so obviously it's important that we're able to talk to everyone, those kind of things, not just, certain folks or whatever. We need to be able to discuss with everybody. And then we'll get into quality improvement measures in module 4, because just like anything else, you can do the best you can, but if you're not improving, you're already falling behind. So we're excited to be able to offer the first cohort in South Carolina. And like I said, we'll offer 1 a month. And if they're interested, if anyone's interested, you can contact our website, or again, you can just reach out to me and I'll be glad to put you in contact with whoever it needs to be. This is another course getting into your healthcare quick skills. That's covered through that. Not to jump off subjects, but the healthcare quick skills is.
We do it all the time.
Do what, sir?
We do it all the time.
There you go. The healthcare quick skills program, it came out, and Tamika and Steve, y'all help me if I tell something wrong here, but I want to say we've had it in place for about 1.5 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. It is a great program. So it kind of helps. Remember I said earlier on that tuition can be fully covered. What the quick skills does is it balances that out. And by that, I mean, so if they qualify for lottery, then they automatically qualify for quick skills. So it balances that out there to make sure that all the tuitions are met. And then we also offer the book voucher as a part of that. So not only is tuition covered with the healthcare skills, but also is book fees. The only thing that is not covered, and I always like to be open, transparent, and honest, the only thing I'm unable to cover because it does not pay for that, I cannot pay for actual testing. So there will be an expense to the student for testing and National Registry Cognitive. The written exam is $80. and then the practicals are $100. So when all's said and done, this student will have $180 out of pocket, only because I can't pay for the testing. If I can find out a way to do that, then they won't have that out of pocket.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic. And again, here we have two fantastic programs, our healthcare programs and our dual enrollment programs that are changing lives and really doing a fantastic job of serving our communities: Greenwood, Lawrence, Edgefield, Abbeville, McCormick, Newberry, Saluda. Anything you'd like to add, Tamika? Is there anything that you'd like to add before as we near the end of this particular show?
No, again, I'd just like to thank you for the opportunity. And, as Steve kind of said before, and Steve Coleman and Mr. McDade has also shared, at Piedmont Tech, we have the ability to serve you where you are in any of our 7 counties. And while we may not yet have the program offered in your location, that doesn't mean we aren't coming. If you have the interest, we are more than willing to put the resources to where you are able to have that in your county, in your location that's closer to you. We've already done that. Steve mentioned we expanded into Newberry, and we are eager and excited to serve our students in all of our counties. I will also say that all these options that we've taught have already been offered to our dual enrollment students, and they are part of our dual enrollment offerings. You do not have to wait until you graduate high school to begin taking advantage of some of these great opportunities. You can go ahead and get a leg up and begin the process right there as a high school junior. So this is a great opportunity. I'd love to talk with you all more about it. Please reach out to our office. We're happy to talk with you after you've had a conversation with your high school counselor. Let us see what we can do for you. We presented many options here, but the great thing about Piedmont Tech is we have the ability to be customizable and give you the education that you need to meet your goals. That's something that you may not be having an opportunity to get elsewhere, but we're committed to doing that for you here at Piedmont Tech. So thanks so much for the opportunity. I look forward to talking with you guys in the future.
Thank you, Tamika. Steve.
If we can help y'all, we're here to do it. Please reach out to us. We can answer any questions. The one thing that I promise you about anybody you speak with at Piedmont Tech is they'll be open, honest, and transparent, and they'll try to help you get to where you're wanting to go in your pathway. And we won't try to talk you into something, but if you're interested, I would love to talk to you about the MT program.
And hey, it's Stevie B at PTC with these fine PTC representatives. We're doing what we do in our communities because it's our responsibility to do those things. And I'm proud of the fact that I'm a fantastic team of educators and community servants. We'll see you next time on the next episode of PTC Live. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Tamika. We're out.